This book has 13 different parts in it. And one part is called the judiciary, which simply means the judges and the court system. And there are 4 different levels to our court system. Judges have to be lawyers, and they only have to have 5 years or more experience. Now, that's an area that personally I think could be changed. 5 years is not a very long time, in my opinion, but that's just my opinion. So that's an area. Again, it might not be the most exciting area, but it's an area that perhaps, when the Constitution is amended, could be looked at and said, 5 years is perhaps not enough time. For the magistrates, they don't give any years of experience. So somebody could get right out of law school and become a magistrate. I don't think even doctors come straight out of med school and become a practicing doctor. I think they have to have a period of apprenticeship. I think they call it a residency. They don't go straight from med school to chopping on people and treating people. So again, it may not be the part of the Constitution that seems the most interesting, but it is one of the most powerful parts of the Constitution. The Maya communities have a judicial officer among them in each village called the alcalde. Is that person not a judicial officer who makes decisions in cases? Yes. But that person, the position of the alcalde is not in the Constitution. It's not in here. Even though there are probably 40 alcaldes. This is my personal opinion. I believe that if the alcalde system is put into the Constitution, when the Constitution is amended, it should make certain that it clearly describes where the alcalde power comes from, that it is not like the magistrates who are appointed. It is an elected position, but it is also a customary position. That's my understanding of it. And I think that when put on paper, it would have to be very careful about how it's described and the limits of its authority.
Many times, as an alcalde, spend many hours or several hours dealing with the problem of the community, free of cost. Free of cost. They only give the alcalde a little stipend of $100, which is something very little. And the amount of time they spend more than our family to look for, they have their own job to look for, and the other part is the community. 15 years ago, the Toledo district was taken to court. It is the Toledo Alcalde Association, the Maya Leaders Alliance. They're the one that took us to the Caribbean Court of Justice. They took us. When I say us, I don't know, because they haven't had a meeting here consulting the people before we went to court. They grabbed the alcalde, take them to the meeting, and now here we have a consent order now. It's on top of us. But my constitution is telling me right now that I have a right to own a piece of property. My constitution is telling me that I have a right to own a property, to operate a business. But the Caribbean Court of Justice has ruled. They tie, they hang, they tie us, they rule us, they tell us how to live. So now we're in deep. Excuse me for the word, but I believe that this commission is here to listen. We're in deep. While the politicians, while the MLA, they are living men, riding around the globes. But the Maya people are suffering. The people of Colombia cannot even own, cannot even see a property. Madam, we need your advice, as you are the one that took us to the court. You were the legal counsel at the time.
The second one but I know the politician will get mad at me and they will mark, you know what, Mr. Ton, Mr. Ko, we have to mark you. But I'm going to say it because I am a Belizean, I born and grow here, and I have a right to say something in this constitution. I would like to see in this constitution that we elect a prime minister. Second, in this constitution, I didn't went to college, but I read and I try to understand. I look at politicians right now, they are just using us, enriching themselves. So I would like to see in this constitution that should there be a law that person who violate any of the code of conduct must be penalized with a monetary fine or imprisonment or both.
There's a code of conduct here that applies to everyone, including members of the National Assembly, the Governor General, and what have you. But the problem, one of the problems is what the gentleman said about accountability. When someone violates this code of conduct, what happens? So those are some of the notes Chairman Chinona is writing down, and he's going to speak to some of the other points the gentleman made.
So some people want to change things because they want to change things, but you have to understand why things were in place. And when you understand these things, some of the constitutional amendments that were made need to be redressed. There was a very corrupt act in our country a couple of years ago where the political parties wanted to buy 2 elected officials from the government side to come over to the opposition side. That is the allegation. And to fix that, they made a law in the Constitution that if you speak against your party, you have crossed the floor. What that has done, it has taken away the voice from your area representative and it has given it to the party. Because if the area representative cannot speak for the people, and if the people are saying they want something and the party is saying that is not what they want, you have lost the voice of your area representative. It's a constitutional amendment. We have an opportunity to look at all these things, not from a point of having a definite position, but to examine what are the things that we have changed